Leslie Langdon with you today, offering a tutorial using Faber-Castell products, Mixed Media Sampler Yellow using the Big Brush 184, and the Mixed Media Sampler Red using Art Grip Aquarelle 117. And then I'll also be using two other Mixed Media Sampler kits, green, using the Teal Metallic Gelatos and the Pitt Pastel Pencil number 176. First thing we're going to do is use the Stamper's Big Brush Pen number 184 and totally cover all the lines on this acrylic stamp. And it's pretty clear to see it since the stamp is clear and the color is showing up. Gives us a good gauge of how much ink we still need to apply or whether we've covered the image. So this is India ink, and it can stamp, and once it dries, it's permanent. And you can use water over top. Here I'm just taking this pen because it's such a fine tip. You can actually fix any mistakes, like if the stamp didn't stamp perfectly, just go ahead and fix it with your big brush pen. So now how I like to use my watercolors is I like to do a really rich line just around the image, and then I'll use that color there to saturate with water and then pull that color into the image. And this also allows the image not to be saturated with color, so you can still see the detail in the stamp being those grid lines. The cool thing about using these two products together, being the Big Brush pen and the Art Grip Aquarelle watercolor pencils, is that the two of them will not run into each other. They're just a nice pairing. You can always use the Big Brush pens to do your stamped image and then the watercolor pencils over top. Okay, so I'm going to get some water here and this fine tip paintbrush, and I'm going to carefully pick that color up and draw it into the image. And you'll notice that my grid lines, those details will stay, and this will just give me a nice shading all around the edges and a really light center. I like the variation of color that these watercolor pencils offer. We want to color the rest of this acorn. So I'm going to take my big brush pen and just finish coloring the bottom there. And you can layer this color too. So I'm going to add a little bit more at the bottom, just for a little bit of shading and detail, and then just right under the acorn top. Okay, now it's time for the gelatos. So I'm going to quickly just lay a strip down on my leaves, and then I'm going to go around the edges of the acorn. And this will just create a really soft backdrop, or like a shadow or frame, if you will, just really making the image pop a little more with a coordinating color. Okay, so you'll need your paintbrush again for this, and just lightly go over, and you'll see it too that you can still see the lines underneath. So the gelatos is not quite opaque. Once you add the water, you can really still see through and still keep the details of your stamped image, which is nice. So here I'll go around my image. I'll come right up to the image, and so as not to leave any white space there. Now here's something you can do as well if you want to go beyond there. What I've been doing lately is just dipping my gelatos into water and then dabbing it like a bingo dabber. Although you can't tell because it's super speed, but that's what I'm doing here. I'm just dabbing it just to get kind of like a neat spongy effect. Okay, last thing to do is to take your pastel pencil, and I'm going to color the stem here. Then I'm going to wait for the whole image to dry, and I'm going to go back with that pastel and really mark the lines. And it'll just make the image kind of just add a little more dimension. So here we go. I'm back and the image is dry. Take your pencil and just, go around the edges. I should mention that this is a stamp from a company called Paper Smooches, and it's a fall set. And there's a sentiment to go with it that says "Nutty for You," which I'll be using, and I'm going to be making this into a card using some Spellbinders die templates and some My Mind's Eye pattern paper. And it's perfect for the fall because that is the season we are in. One last step for you, whenever you're using pastels, you might want to do the added step of spraying this with a hairspray or a sealer or a fixative. I'm going to take some Mod Podge, and I'm going to be careful not to smudge the image very much. I want to do just quick strokes, and that's going to seal it and give it a nice matte finish. Okay, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and enjoy this fall season. Take care.